In today's video, I'm comparing the Stash investing app versus the Robinhood stock trading app. I'll discuss all their features, see how they actually stack up against each other, and help you decide which is the right investing app for you. Hey guys, welcome back. This is Erik of Investing Apps TV, and on this channel we talk investing apps, investing tutorials, and investing principles. So if you're new here today, definitely feel free to subscribe, guys, to catch future investing app reviews and comparisons just like this one. Also, guys, real quick, feel free to leave me a quick comment down below. Are you Team Stash or Team Robinhood? I'm definitely interested to hear what the general consensus is in the community. Anyways, guys, with that being said, we're now going to start today's comparison of the Stash app versus the Robinhood app. Alright guys, so here we are now inside both investing apps. We have the Stash Invest app on the left and the Robinhood stock trading app on the right hand side. We're going to be breaking down today's app comparison in a couple of different segments. Firstly, we're going to be talking about the features available on both investing apps and the pros and cons of those features. We'll also be discussing my overall user experience when it comes to using both investing apps. We'll also be discussing which investing app I feel is better for beginning investors versus which one I feel is better for more intermediate to experienced investors. And lastly, we'll be discussing the prices and fees involved with each app, if there are any, and really anything else you need to know when it comes to learning about both investing apps. Alright, so for starters, guys, let's start off with the user interface on both apps. We're going to start off with the Robinhood app first. So over on the right hand side here, we have the Robinhood investing app. This is the home page of Robinhood when you first open up your Robinhood app. And on the home page, it's very easy to track your portfolio value and performance in real time, especially during stock market trading hours. Now, as you can see, they have your portfolio value followed by a chart tracking your portfolio performance. And you can easily track your portfolio performance over the past 24 hours, over the past week, over the past month, over the past 3 months, over the past year, and all time. So it's very easy to track your portfolio performance in Robinhood. I definitely like that feature. And I also forgot to mention, when the stock market is open during stock market trading hours, you can actually track your portfolio performance real time by clicking on the live button. Beneath that, on the Robinhood app, you'll see it has basically news and updates, not only on your Robinhood account, but also news on stocks you may be watching or stocks you may own on Robinhood. And beneath that, you can actually track your cryptocurrencies that you may be investing in or watching. So you could track those right there, as well as stocks that you own and how many shares you own of each. And beneath that, you can have your watch list, which are stocks that you don't own, but stocks that you want to watch on the Robinhood stock trading app that you may want to buy at a later time. So that's pretty cool. It's very easy to find everything here on the home page. If you want to open up a certain stock, say you want to look into Amazon, you can easily click on it right there, and it will open up that individual stock right there. You could see its performance over the past day, month, 3 months, year, 5 years. It'll have details about that stock and if you own any shares of that, as well as other information such as recent news. I really like that Robinhood curates a lot of recent news articles on every individual stock available on it. So everything's really clean on Robinhood. You could see that every stock or ETF available on Robinhood has the same breakdown. It's very easy to learn about these stocks on Robinhood. And again, also on the homepage here, if you want to buy a new stock or look up a new stock, just simply click on the search button right there, and you could type in any stock you're looking for. Say you want to learn about Walmart stock, you could type in Walmart, it'll come up, you just click on it right there, and you can learn more about that stock just like I said. So it's very easy to find stocks to invest in on Robinhood. It's very clean in my opinion. Now let's go over to Stash. Now this is the Stash homepage. On the other hand, I personally find the Stash investing app a little more cluttered, not that it's necessarily a bad thing, and I'll explain why in just a second. You will see that it does on the homepage have your portfolio value, but when you want to look up your performance, you actually have to go over to the balance tab right there, and it shows you your performance, but it's a little less detailed than on the Robinhood stock trading app, which shows you actual percentages and actual numbers. As you could see, if you click here, you could see actual numbers and percentages. But the Stash investing app, it just gives you a basic graph, and it's not as detailed, but it's better than nothing, and it still gives you an idea of how your portfolio is performing over time. And here on the portfolio page, you'll see that it has a further breakdown of your portfolio value as well as its performance, and beneath that it has a breakdown of all your investments and holdings in your Stash account. So as you can see, it's very similar to the Robinhood app in that it shows you all your holdings. So it's easy to track your holdings. And if you want to learn more about any one of these stocks or ETFs you invest in, you could just click on it right there and it will open up and have a breakdown very similar to Robinhood as well. Now, when it comes to investing on Stash, Stash definitely has less investing options than Robinhood. On the Stash Invest app, if you want to invest, there are limited options. What you would do is you would go to where it says invest right there. click on invest. It will open up the investing options. In total, there are probably about maybe a little over 50 investing options on Stash, whereas on Robinhood, you can invest in thousands of stocks and companies and ETFs. Stash, though, is a lot less overwhelming for beginning investors, I will say. As you can see here, they have many different ETFs you can invest in, which are, again, groups of stocks, which are more diversified and offer less risk. You know, say you want to invest in blue chip companies. Those are established companies in the United States, like Walmart, Facebook, companies like that, companies that are established. You can also invest in groups of stocks, such as American Innovators. You can invest in Internet Titans if you want to invest in banks. They have many ETFs here in different sectors of the stock market that you could look into and invest. Now, recently, as of a couple months ago, Stash actually added the ability for you to invest in individual companies. They didn't have this ability before, but they now offer some companies you can invest in here. As you can see, you can invest in all of these individual companies currently on the Stash app. So you may see many well-recognized names such as Apple, Costco, EA, ExxonMobil, Facebook, General Electric, Home Depot. So there's a lot of individual stocks you can invest in now on the Stash Invest app. So it's probably, maybe about 40 or 50 individual stocks I see here. But again, it's nothing like Robinhood where you can invest in virtually any company or stock you could think of. Now let's take a second to talk about actually investing when it comes to actually investing on both of these apps. So if you're a beginning investor and you're looking to get started investing in either app, both have low entry points. It's not like a larger brokerage where you may need thousands of dollars to get started. You can actually get started very low. So on the Stash Investing app, you can get started investing for as low as $5. What you want to do on the Stash Invest app is go to invest, and let's say you want to buy this ETF right here, American Innovators. Click on buy, and you can invest any amount you want to invest in this particular ETF, but it has to be at minimum $5. So again, that's really great for beginning investors. You can invest with as low as $5. Robinhood, on the other hand, there is no minimum. The minimum, though, is the price of a single share of stock. So for Robinhood, on the other hand, let's say you want to buy a share of Walmart. You would just type in Walmart right there, and you could see it's currently $83 for a share of Walmart. That would be the minimum price to get started with Robinhood, $83 in that example. Now, if you want to buy a stock that's around $5, $10, $20, you could do that as well. That's really the minimum on Robinhood. It's the price for a share of stock. Now, while I said one pro for Robinhood is that you can invest in individual stocks, many more, thousands that you cannot invest in on the Stash Investing app, it's also a con in the sense that on the Stash Investing app, let's say you want to invest in Amazon. You can actually go down to Amazon right there, and you can invest in Amazon on the Stash Investing app, and you can buy a fractional share for $5. Whereas on the Robinhood Investing app, if you want to invest in Amazon, as you can see, one share of Amazon is currently over $1,700. So you would have to invest $1,700 to buy a share of Amazon, because on Robinhood, you can only buy full shares. You cannot buy fractional shares. Whereas on Stash, the few limited companies that you can invest in, you can buy fractional shares. Now let's talk about other features available on these apps. So the great thing about the Stash Investing app is you can actually automate your investing. So it's called auto stashing. What you want to do is click on auto stash right here. And you can set up investments on a regular basis to occur automatically. Basically, you link your checking account to Stash, and you could say, I want to have $5 invested in my Stash account every week, bi-weekly, every month, whatever. $5, $10, $15, whatever you're comfortable investing, and Stash will automatically invest that for you in your chosen ETFs or individual companies that you want to invest in. Likewise, Robinhood also has something similar. If you go to banking and you go to automatic deposits, you can actually also similarly schedule automatic deposits into your Robinhood account, just the same. Any amount you want, whether you want to do it weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, as you can see all the different options. And you also have those options available on the Stash app. So again, those are very similar. You'll notice that these apps actually have a lot of similar features, and that is just one of them. So it's a great way to automate investing without you having to think about it. It's a great way to build a consistent habit of investing, because guys, that's really the name of the game when it comes to investing, is consistent investing. Even consistent small amounts is going to add up over time. All right, guys. So now let's take a second to talk about which app I feel is better for beginners. Personally, I honestly feel, guys, both of these apps, you can't go wrong if you're a beginning investor. They both are very user-friendly to beginning investors. They use terminology that's easy to understand. But if I had to pick one for complete beginners to investing, I would probably lean towards Stash. And here's why. Because while I said there are many more investing options on Robinhood, because of that, it could be a little more overwhelming for beginning investors. Also, Stash has ETFs that are broken down in more simple terminology that are easy to understand, such as, if you want to invest in Global Citizen, that's investing in international companies. If you want to invest in high voltage, that's investing in electrical companies. Internet Titans is investing in internet companies. If you have money machines, you're investing in banks. Whereas on Robinhood, they don't necessarily have this terminology. You're just straight up investing in individual stocks and ETFs. So you may need a little more experience to invest in Robinhood. Not that you can't invest as a beginner, because Robinhood was actually my first investing app, but I would say from using both of them, I personally find the Stash investing app to be a little better for beginners. Plus, like I said, you can get started investing with as low as $5, whereas on Robinhood, it may be, $50, $100, a couple $100, depending on that particular share of stock you're looking at. So for that reason, I'd probably say Stash is better for beginners. Also, because Stash has something called their Learn tab right here, which is basically an area in the Stash investing app, which is a great resource for beginning investors because they have many helpful articles on different investing and stock market terminology, investing principles, and they really help you answer all the questions you have about investing. Lots of helpful articles. Robinhood doesn't have that feature. Like I said, Robinhood does have articles on individual stocks, but they don't have helpful articles and resources for beginning investors. So because of that, overall, guys, I would say if you're a more experienced to intermediate investor, I'd try Robinhood out. But Stash, on the other hand, great for investors, a lot more resources for beginners to the stock market. Now let's take a second, guys, to talk about the fees and pricing of both apps. So Robinhood's selling point is completely commission-free trading, and it's 100% true. There are zero costs on Robinhood, and that is its biggest selling point. That's why I first joined Robinhood. It's $0 to buy and $0 to sell stocks or ETFs on Robinhood, whereas on the Stash investing app, it costs $1 per month to have a Stash account, which is still very low. It's $12 a year or $1 per month, but Robinhood is completely $0. But both of these are so much lower when you compare it to larger brokerages such as E-Trade, Charles Schwab, TD Ameritrade, Fidelity. All of those major online brokerages charge anywhere from $5 to $7 commission per trade. For example, that means $5 to $7 every time you buy a share of stock and $5 to $7 every time you sell a share or shares of stock. And while it may not seem like much if you have a large portfolio, if you're a beginning investor, guys, or you have a portfolio that's not that large, those commissions can really add up and eat into your profits over time. So because of that, I really feel the Stash and Robinhood app are a great resource for beginning investors and those with smaller portfolios, because it really gives you an advantage in that you can focus on investing and trading without having to worry about commissions eating away at your profits. So definitely something to keep in mind. Both of these apps have that advantage over larger online brokerages, but again, Robinhood is completely free, zero commission. Stash is $1 per month. Now, in terms of features, Robinhood probably has a few more investing features than Stash. On the Robinhood app, if you notice here, they do have something called Robinhood Gold. That is an upgraded account that will cost you a monthly fee, but it's completely optional. But that's probably more for advanced stock traders. I did do a review on Robinhood Gold. I'll put that video down in the description box below if you want to learn more about Robinhood Gold. But it is a more advanced margin account for investors. Basically, it's how Robinhood could lend you money to invest. Stash doesn't currently offer anything like that. But like I said, for beginning investors, you don't want to invest on margin or borrowed money because that's just a recipe for disaster as a beginning investor. Robinhood also has something called Robinhood Options, which is options trading, which is a more advanced form of trading, which I won't go over right now, but that option is not available on Stash. So if you want to trade options, I would definitely lean more towards Robinhood because Robinhood does have that option. All right, one more thing I forgot that I do want to show you on the Stash Invest app is another feature they have over here where it says Potential. So if you click on Potential, you'll see that it actually has a cool tool that allows you to project your portfolio performance over the next 1 year, 5 years, and 10 years. And you can adjust these numbers based on how much you plan to deposit monthly. You can adjust that right there. You can also adjust the growth potential to get a realistic projection of how your money would grow over the next amount of years. So that's definitely a cool feature available on the Stash investing app that the Robinhood app does not have. If you have any questions about either investing app, feel free to leave your questions down below in the comments. I'm always happy to answer those for you. And if you're new to both the Stash or the Robinhood app, and you'd like to learn more about how to use each app individually, I did make individual tutorial videos on both investing apps. I'll link up my Robinhood tutorial videos right here, as well as my Stash tutorial videos right there. Anyways, guys, thanks again for watching, and I will catch you guys in the next video on Investing Apps TV.